I want to take a moment today to show everyone my newest acquisition here. A lot of you know that I'm currently carrying my 686 Plus from Smith & Wesson as my concealed carry gun because my 586 L-Comp had to be sent back to Smith & Wesson, which is a long storied event, which I will tell you about at a later date. But for now, I'm carrying the 686 Plus. So you might be a little surprised that what I got is another 686 Plus. You might be asking yourself, what's different about this gun from my other Smith & Wesson 686? Well, there's actually two really big differences between this gun and the one I have. Well, one of them's a big difference and one of them's small. The big difference, as you can see here, is this one has an unfluted cylinder. There's no flutes in it. I really like the looks of unfluted cylinders. There's really no advantage to them other than the looks, but I really like them. Another small difference is this is a Talo edition gun, so it came with these special wood grips, which I'm really not a fan of. I'm not a big fan of these 3-finger grips. They're a little bit long for a 3-inch barrel gun. If this gun had like a 4-inch to a 6-inch barrel, these grips would look good, but with the shorter 3-inch barrel, they look a little oversized. Plus, I'm not a big fan of the 3-finger grips. The grips don't really help me out any. They just make it harder to conceal the gun. When I grab a revolver, my hand goes way up top here to where the web of my hand is up to the top. So when I do that, it doesn't really help to have that extra grip at the bottom. As you can see, the extra just kind of sticks out the bottom right there. It doesn't give me any extra real estate for grabbing the grip. It's just an unused part of the grip that just makes it harder to conceal. Now today, other than just show you this gun, I wanted to do two things. I want to change those grips and I want to change the sights on the gun. A lot of people ask me all the time, you don't even keep all your guns. Why do you make changes to them? Well, for as long as I do have them, I want them to be comfortable. I want them to be the way I want them to be. I want to be able to use them if I want to use them. I want them to be perfect for me. So I make changes to a gun even if I know I may not keep it. Now, if I know I'm not likely to keep a gun, I'm not going to make changes I can't change back, but grips are easy to change and sights are easy to change. So I'm not really doing anything to this gun that I couldn't change back in 5 minutes if I wanted to. Now, I thought about putting the rosewood grips from my 586 on this gun until I get my 586 back, but then I thought, well, I got to put these back on the 586 when it comes in, so why bother putting them on another gun and taking them off again when I've got something else I can use, and that is these walnut-colored grips. And these are from the same company, Altamont, so they're basically the same grip, just a different color, and these ones have the silver Smith & Wesson medallion in them. So I thought I'd put these on the Smith & Wesson 686 Plus that I have here before I change the sights out. So let's do that really quick. Okay, there you have the grips changed out, and you know what? I actually like the walnut color better on the stainless than I do the rosewood. That looks really nice. I'm glad I put those on there. So now I'll just change out the front sight. Now, changing out the front sight's not as easy as changing the grips, but it's still not a hard task. It only takes a couple of minutes, and it's easily reversible. Oh, and here's a little tip for you. If you don't have a number 54 punch, which I think most people don't have, you can just use one of your old broken number 54 drill bits as a tap to get the pin out of the front sight. If you use these number 54 drill bits, believe me, you're going to have some broken ones eventually. So just use that as a tap. Might as well put it to use. These are really hard to get out, so to get them started, I usually tap them forward a little bit, which will start them rising up and get them beyond the end of the barrel, and then I just tap them the other direction. And now it's out with no damage to it. If you try to pull them out with pliers or something or work them out, sometimes you'll damage them. That way, just tapping them with the soft part of the mallet will get them right out. The sight that I'm going to be putting back on is a high-vis sight, just like I have on my other 686 Plus. I'll just start it in by hand, and then I'll actually start tapping it down in there. Just go very lightly. You don't want to break your sight. Sometimes with these, you might have to take a file, just take down a little lip on them so that they'll go in. Now, once you get it on perfectly, which means you see no daylight between the sight and the sight ramp, and it's totally flush with the front here, you can then drill the new sight for the pin. All right, now we got to put the pin back in. So there you have it, just a couple small changes and about 15 minutes of work, and now this gun is far better suited for a carry gun, just like my other 686 Plus. These grips are far more comfortable, and that sight is way better than that black blade sight with the red insert that comes with it. Like I've said before, I don't like those things. Not sure how well you can see there, but that green dot from the fiber optic shows up so much better. Those two things alone are a good reason to like this gun better now. And like I say, if this gun ever escapes my custody, I can just put those things back to the way they were in just a couple of minutes. It's really easy to do. Now, there is one more thing I want to cover before I go. A lot of people say, "I thought you said never customize your gun." Well, for one, if you're changing grips and sights, those are things that are meant to be changed. You're not really customizing your gun. Customizing your gun means altering the way it works. And I've never said not to do that. All I've said is be aware of any extra liability risks you might incur because you made changes. But still, if you're going to make a change to a gun and it's a safe change, it's something that's competent, make that change. There's no reason in the world that you should carry a gun that isn't best for you. You just have to be aware if it's a little bit more risky or if it's not.